Hey there, if you're like me, you are probably starting to get seed catalogs in the mail and you're wondering what new varieties you want to try. Today I'm going to share with you 15 new seed varieties I tried in my garden last year. Now I know we love watching traditional seed hauls where we see what other gardeners will be growing this year, but I think it's fun and perhaps even more helpful to you if I share what new seeds I grew last year and how they ended up performing. Thankfully for 2024, I had quite a few winners. Each one brought something unique and I'm excited to share what worked, what surprised me, and what I'll be growing again. If you're looking for some new varieties of veggies, flowers, and herbs, this video is for you. Let's jump right in. Let's kick this off with broccoli, since it's one of the first crops I seed start each January. I tried 3 new varieties last year and 2 absolutely stood out. Jacaranda and Gemini, both from Territorial Seed Company. These compact varieties were perfect for my small kitchen garden where space is at a premium. With shorter days to maturity, they fit perfectly into my spring planting schedule, which is critical for those of us gardening in Arkansas or similar climates where spring often skips straight to summer. Jacaranda was a personal favorite of mine because of its striking purple color. The contrast between green leaves and purple heads was stunning, and while it tasted just like regular broccoli, I loved the visual appeal. Plus, if we're eating the rainbow, I figured this purple beauty had to pack some extra nutrients. Both varieties performed well in the fall too, so I'll definitely be adding these to my regular rotation. I experimented with a few different carrot varieties, but the ones that were the most interesting to me were Little Finger and Shin Carota. I also tried Tendersweet, which would be a close third. All of these are from botanical interest. Little Finger was so fun to grow. These baby carrots mature quickly, making them perfect for planting in spaces that you'll reuse later. For example, because they came to maturity faster, I was able to harvest them and plant sweet potatoes in their place. That was a perfect way to double up my garden space. Plus, they were sweet, crunchy, and perfect for snacking. Shin Carota, on the other hand, was bred for heat tolerance. It performed beautifully alongside my tried and true new Carota, and while I didn't notice a significant difference between the two, it's always great to have another dependable carrot for our hot Arkansas summers. For cucumbers, I'm always searching for disease resistance because diseases like powdery mildew can be a problem here. This year, I decided to try Ashley, an heirloom variety from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange. This one was bred for hot, humid climates and offered potential resistance to powdery mildew. The plants were incredibly productive, giving me an abundance of crisp, flavorful cucumbers all season long. While I did battle a new disease called angular leaf spot, it didn't affect the production until late in the plant's life cycle. If you're in the southeastern US, Ashley is a fantastic choice for heat and humidity. If you watched any of my past videos, you know that I love growing lettuce even year-round, but I found it a little bit tough to find red lettuce varieties I love. But last year, I discovered 2 new varieties, Cherokee and Revolution. Cherokee came from Johnny's Seeds, and it's a deep red romaine type that grows beautifully and bolts at a slower pace than most of the lettuces that I've tried. Revolution is a frilly variety with shorter days to maturity, and it offered a different texture and came ready to harvest sooner. Together, they added color, flavor, and visual interest to my garden beds, especially in my green stalk, where they looked amazing alongside my green lettuces. I absolutely loved both of these varieties and will be planting them in the future. As you may recall, last year I only planted a handful of tomato plants since I didn't can any for 2024, but I did try a new variety called Park's Whopper. This variety, sent by a friend in Texas, was a winner for my heat and humidity here in Arkansas. It produced consistently throughout the summer, even when temperatures soared, which is a huge bonus for those of us in hot and humid climates. The fruit was large, juicy, and perfect for slicing. It outperformed my other varieties in yield, and I'll definitely grow it again. Unfortunately, I can't recall where he got the seed, but this is a pretty well-known variety that I'm sure you can get from lots of different seed sources. By the way, as I've shared with you these crops, you may have noticed that in most of my raised beds, I use a unique raised bed irrigation system that I believe has made a huge difference in the health and the productivity of my plants. It's called the Garden in Minutes Garden Grid, and it has transformed the way that I irrigate my raised beds. To check the them out further and get a discount code, you'll find more information in the description below. Now let's move on to jalapenos. If you love jalapeno poppers, let me introduce you to Megatron. This jalapeno variety from Botanical Interest produces large, thick-walled peppers that are perfect for stuffing. At 3 to 4 inches long, they're easy to seed and fill, making them my new go-to for appetizers. The heat level was manageable, not too mild, but not overwhelmingly spicy either. And I was very impressed with how productive these plants were. One plant provided more than we can use. Next, let's move on to flowers. If you want to grow flowers that will attract beneficial insects to your garden, Alyssum is one of my top recommendations. Now, I've grown this kind, this white Alyssum, for years, but last year I tried a new variety called Allure Pastel, a purple variety from Botanical Interest. This white variety came from True Leaf Market, but it's pretty common. You can get them in lots of places. The purple variety is just as beautiful and delicate as the white, creating a lovely ground cover. While it didn't attract as many beneficial insects as my white Alyssum did, especially for my favorite syrphid flies, they love to eat aphids, so I want to have them everywhere in my garden, the purple variety was still a gorgeous addition to my garden space. This year I wanted to explore new varieties of sunflowers, so I tried out 3 new sunflower varieties: Short Stuff, Teddy Bear, and Mongolian Giant. Short Stuff and Teddy Bear are smaller, more compact varieties that added a pop of color to my raised beds without overshadowing the other plants. Mongolian Giant, on the other hand, was a showstopper, reaching up to 10 feet tall, maybe even taller, I didn't measure it, with massive flower heads. This one's perfect if you're looking to grow your own sunflower seeds or feed the birds, because many times they beat me to the seeds. It was a gorgeous addition to the garden when it was in full bloom, but I have to say I'm kind of partial to these smaller compact varieties. They were just so cute in my raised bed garden. Next, let's talk about zinnias. I love zinnias, especially a couple of new varieties that I tried this year. This pink senorita was absolutely beautiful, but it didn't produce a whole lot of flower blooms for some reason, not compared to this one, Queen Lime, which was also beautiful and it produced a lot. I kind of wanted a 50-50 mixture by planting them both together, but it seemed like the Queen Lime produced more flowers than this one did, but still 2 beautiful options. But if you've ever grown zinnias before, you know that a lot of times zinnias can grow really large, really tall. And I wanted to explore a lower growing option for some height variety in my main raised bed. Although I grow other flowers for this purpose, I was thrilled to see a compact variety called Swizzle Cherry and Ivory. This is a dwarf zinnia from Territorial Seed Company. These petite blooms were perfect for my taller raised beds, adding a splash of color without overwhelming the space. They're a great option if you're looking for something small and eye-catching. Finally, I tried a different basil variety this year. While I love basil, I don't love how quickly it starts to go to seed in the summer unless I'm constantly pruning it. So I tried Everleaf basil from Botanical Interest, which doesn't go to flower like traditional basil varieties. It grew tall, 3 to 4 feet, and produced an abundance of leaves throughout the summer. While I didn't think the flavor lived up to a regular Italian basil, it's a fantastic option if you want a low maintenance basil that keeps producing all season long. Have you ever grown any of these varieties before? What new varieties did you try that worked for you or that didn't? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, check out last year's popular video where I reviewed my new varieties from the previous season.